Inform, investigate, inspire. This is News 3 at 4.
Now on News 3 at 4, respiratory illnesses are on the rise in Hampton Roads. Coming up, what area hospitals are asking you to do the next time you're seeking care or visiting someone in the hospital. Billions of dollars meant to help during the pandemic misused. News 3 investigates, looks at just how much money was lost and the local cases under the microscope. And it's feeling like spring in January. Meteorologist Christy Stewart is here to tell us when the cold weather makes a comeback. Welcome to News 3 at 4. I'm Jessica Larche, near the campus of Centera Norfolk General Hospital, where doctors are pleading with patients, even visitors here, to mask up. That's because they say there is a surge in respiratory illnesses in our community, talking about COVID, the flu, and RSV. In fact, they say this is such a big problem that the big area hospitals from the south side to the peninsula are teaming up to plead with patients and visitors to mask up. Bon Secours, Chesapeake Regional Healthcare, the Riverside Health System, Centera, the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters, and Eastern Virginia Medical School are all banding together to issue this recommendation. According to the Virginia Department of Health, there have been more than 16,000 reported infections in the state during this flu season. And since a person can spread a respiratory virus 24 hours before showing any signs or symptoms, the hospitals say these recommendations will protect patients, visitors, and staff from exposure.
When you're looking at just how it's getting tracked, that's in the red. We don't like the red. So once we start to see it go back down, and it really is looking at it over, these 2-week periods. And as you see 2 weeks of lower transmission, then facilities and hospital organizations will start to reevaluate.
Centera Manager of Infectious Disease, Caldwell Lewin, says this recommendation has not gone away since the pandemic. Hospitals are just bringing it to the forefront once again to keep everyone safe. We turn now to a News 3 investigation where we've learned billions of dollars in money meant to help with COVID relief has been misused. The News 3 investigative team continues to dig into cases involving COVID relief fraud cases in Hampton Roads. The latest information from the Government Accountability Office estimates a total loss across all unemployment insurance programs during the pandemic to be between $100 and $135 billion. That's about 11 to 15% of the total unemployment insurance benefit paid out during the pandemic.
This was a government-wide fail, basically. At the federal level, Labor Department didn't have adequate oversight. The guidance was mixed, and then the states themselves had, control failures across the board. I don't think we can identify any particular state or states that did fraud risk management well. It was a matter of degree of how many did them really badly, some did it less badly, and so on.
They say we might never know the total amount of public money that was lost. Coming up tonight on News 3 at 6, investigative reporter Margaret Kavanaugh talks about why this happened and identifies recent local cases that investigators are pursuing charges. The opioid epidemic has no doubt sent people to area hospitals when they're in crisis. And now Dare and Currituck counties are looking at ways to spend opioid settlement money. News 3 reporter Samuel King explains.
Dare County expects to receive more than $3 million in funding over the next 18 years to combat opioid abuse. County leaders provided an update this week on how that money is being spent. The funding has already paid for new positions like an overdose response coordinator, a new recovery court case manager, and wider distribution of things like naloxone and fentanyl testing strips. The fight is personal for Saving Lives Task Force co-chair Roxana Ballinger. She lost her son to fentanyl. And she says this year the county plans to launch a new mobile vehicle to provide even wider access for recovery services.
We have doubled the amount of naloxone that we have gotten out in the community over the last year. And we are going to be starting mobile harm reduction services.
That will enable us to essentially be mobile and go wherever the need is.
A task force in Currituck County gave a report to commissioners earlier this month. It reported there were 20 overdose deaths in the county from 2020 to 2022. and Narcan was distributed 96 times, which officials say is likely an undercount. They're proposing steps such as adding post-overdose response teams and early intervention programs to combat the issue. And officials say collaboration is key, not only between agencies within counties, but across county lines to get a better foothold in the fight against opioid abuse. Reporting in Manio, Samuel King, News 3.
This Thursday afternoon marks another warmer one for us this week, and I have to say it has been really nice enjoying this 70-degree weather in January. But that will not last long. We turn now to our First Warning team of meteorologists for an update on when the colder air will move back in and our rain chances ahead.
Yeah, we do have a lot of cloud cover and some rain showers that are starting to really pass through for us. We've got a very unsettled pattern that we are dealing with right now. Look at all of this scattered rain activity that is making its way into the southeast. And we are starting to really see some of that scattered activity developing for us and starting to move through right now across Hampton Road. So we'll continue to see these scattered rain showers as we do head throughout the rest of this afternoon into this evening. Hopefully you have an umbrella on hand. If not, if you've got some evening plans, grab the umbrella, as we are going to be seeing some of these scattered rain showers that will be continuing to push through until we get into tonight. Then we should be able to catch a bit of a drier break, but you'll still need to have those umbrellas on hand as we head into the day on Friday. We're looking at having some more of those rain chances. It's also still going to be pretty breezy out there as we do head throughout the rest of the day today, but at least those temperatures are very comfortable for us. It's a warmer rain. We will be seeing some temperatures that are going to be dropping heading into this weekend, and especially as we get into next week. That's when we see a return of below normal temperatures. How long to expect the rain? I'll have those details coming up.
Portsmouth police say they need your help finding this teenager who you see on your screen. This is 14-year-old Jamar Petaway. He was last seen January 17th on Ray Street wearing a blue bubble coat with a burgundy hoodie. Police ask that if you have seen him to call them right away. Portsmouth police are looking for this man, Raquan Faison. They say he's wanted in connection to a deadly shooting yesterday morning. Police tell us they responded to Maryview Medical Center, where two men walked in after being shot around midnight. We know one of them did not survive. They're asking if you have any information to contact police. Looking ahead in North Carolina now, where the State Lottery Commission has announced when legal sports betting can begin. You can place your bets on any mobile device starting March 11th. Like most states, you have to be 21 and older. State leaders are also reviewing 9 applications for sports betting companies to come to North Carolina. The commission picked out a date in March so bettors and basketball fans can wager on college conference tournaments and March Madness games. Food truck owners suing a local town and an elected official. We're breaking down the claims filed in a federal lawsuit.
We are in a very unsettled stretch right now. How long we can expect these rain showers to stick around through the weekend, I'll let you know coming up.
It has been nice enjoying this part of our broadcast outside on a warmer Thursday afternoon in January, but we are headed back to the News 3 studios just over my shoulder here in downtown Norfolk. The other big stories of the day after the break, you're watching News 3 at 4.
News 3's First Warning Weather.
Oh, we do have a lot of cloud cover that is out there right now, as well as some scattered rain showers that are starting to develop and move through. But some of you I know have been asking about snow. Are we going to be seeing any? Well, we don't really have any in the near future. And in fact, it has been 726 days since our last measurable snow. We will be hitting that 2-year mark. That 2-year mark will be happening on January 29th. 2022 was the last time that we saw measurable snow with 3 inches that did fall. Again, it's been almost 2 years, and it's going to be at least 2 years since we have seen the last measurable snow here in Hampton Roads. As far as precipitation, we've been seeing rain throughout the month of January, and we have come up so far with 2.96 inches of rainfall. The normal amount is 3.41 inches, and it looks like we probably will be reaching into that normal amount as we are going to be seeing some scattered rain showers moving through the rest of today, throughout the day on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Not a complete washout event any one of these these days, but we do have some scattered rain chances in there, so make sure that you do have those umbrellas or rain jackets on hand. We'll start to dry out as we head into next week and also see a return of the sunshine. We're dealing with a very unsettled weather pattern right now, so we're going to be seeing that continuing to impact us as we head throughout the weekend. As we get into the weekend, we'll have a cold front move through, then we've got a low pressure system that develops. It's kind of a mess in our surface map here that we'll be dealing with, but you can see we've got a lot of scattered rain shower activity, a couple of rumbles of thunder mixed in there as well, and that's what we're going to be seeing as that continues to head in our direction over the next several days. So scattered rain really starting to move in as we're heading throughout this afternoon. We're going to be continuing to see that scattered rain for the rest of this evening. As we get into tonight, that's when we are going to be drying out. A little bit breezy yet as we head throughout the rest of today into tonight, and as we get into the day on Friday, we are going to be seeing a couple of scattered rain showers out there. I think we'll see a little bit more rain than Futurecast is showing here right now, but we do have some rain chances out there for the day on Friday. Again, not a washout event. As we get into Saturday, looks like the morning a little bit drier, but towards the afternoon, that's when that scattered rain moves through. Some rumbles of thunder will be possible as well as potentially a couple of heavier downpours at times, and that activity continues throughout the day on Sunday for us. As for those temperatures, it's been very warm the past couple of days. Today we saw those high temperatures a couple degrees warmer than yesterday, reaching into the lower 70s. We are going to be seeing those temperatures in the low 70s again as we head into the day on Friday. As we get into your weekend, these days should be shifted a little bit there. Saturday looking like those mid 50s, 60 for your Sunday, and then next week will be cooler with those temperatures that are going to be sitting in the 40s. So this evening, still pretty warm out there. The mid 60s, could be seeing a couple of rain showers as well as maybe a few rumbles of thunder mixed in there. We are going to be seeing some more scattered rain heading throughout the weekend. A little bit cooler this weekend. Next week is drier, but it's also cooler.
So I was outside earlier this afternoon. It was so nice to not even need a jacket. I barely needed the scarf.
Yeah.
But it's just nice to enjoy this little piece of spring in January.
Yeah, I spent my lunch outside today to enjoy the 70s before that rain moved in. So
yeah,
hopefully you're able to get outside and enjoy it as well.
All right, Christy, thank you. Continuing coverage now on the Eastern Shore after a fight over a food truck turns into a federal lawsuit. The owners of Ebenezer Food Truck in Parksley say shortly after they opened the truck last June, they faced harassment and violations of their rights. They say Councilman Henry Nicholson was involved in several incidents with them because he's worried the food truck will hurt the business of existing restaurants. In October, the town council passed a ban on permanent food trucks in the town. The food truck owners, who are Haitian immigrants, thought they could stay open until their business license expires in May, but they received a note from the town attorney in November telling them they could face criminal charges if they kept operating the food truck. Now they are suing the town and Councilman Nicholson. They spoke through a translator this week outside of the Norfolk Federal Courthouse.
Now, I know that this justice will come. I don't know how long it will take, and I don't know how long it will take for my scars to heal. But I know that one day both will come.
We are continuing to reach out to town leaders who have yet to respond to our questions. We did talk to Councilman Nicholson at his appliance store in town, and he told us no comment. Stick with News 3 to learn more on air and online at WTKR.com. On the military watch now, the U.S. and Iraq are expected to begin talks soon on the future of the U.S. military presence in the country. That is according to sources familiar with the matter. It comes amid public calls from the Iraqi government for the U.S. to withdraw its troops. Those calls seem to be in response to the U.S. launching airstrikes inside of Iraq, targeting Iranian-backed militants who have been attacking U.S. personnel there. Part of the discussions will focus on whether and when it would be feasible to end the U.S. military presence in Iraq. The U.S. has roughly 2,500 troops currently in Iraq. They've been operating there in an advice and assistance capacity since December of 2021, when the U.S. military announced the end of its combat role in the country. Virginia Senator Tim Kaine wants Congress to know what weapons the U.S. is sending to foreign militaries. Part of the National Security Supplemental Funding Bill would make it so Congress doesn't have to be notified if aid is going to Israel, but leaves the requirement in place for other countries. Kane says he is proposing an amendment to keep Congress notified of all arms transfers, even those to Israel. He says the American people deserve transparency on these kinds of deals, and no president of any party should bypass Congress on issues of war, peace, and diplomacy. Some Hampton Roads sailors are about to have access to free high-speed Wi-Fi. On February 1st, the Navy will begin a pilot program at 12 unaccompanied Navy housing buildings here in Hampton Roads. The sailors who stay in those buildings will have access to the Wi-Fi. Right now, the buildings have Wi-Fi, but sailors have to pay for it. One sailor we spoke to says this will save her about $40 a month. The Navy says this is just one of several efforts to improve the quality of life for sailors throughout the Navy. This comes in the wake of several sailor suicides.
This is one of our biggest fleet concentration areas in the Navy. We wanted to do it in these 12 barracks so that we get that accurate data sample, because if we can do it in a heavy traffic area like this, we can pretty much do it anywhere.
The program will run through September, after which the Navy will assess how it went and decide if and where it will be expanded. In the Republican presidential race, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is campaigning in her home state, trying to narrow the lead held by former President Donald Trump. He is insulting his former UN ambassador online and threatening donors who contribute to her campaign. Caitlin Huey-Burns is in Charleston, South Carolina, ahead of next month's crucial primary.
Bring it, Donald. Show me what you got.
As pressure mounts for Nikki Haley to drop out of the race, the former South Carolina governor is taking the fight to her opponent.
He didn't talk about the American people once. He talked about revenge.
And Trump is stepping up his attacks on his former UN ambassador. About an hour after Haley announced a surge in donations,
we have raised $1 million since I gave that speech last night.
Trump took to social media Wednesday, warning Haley donors, anybody that makes a contribution to her campaign from this moment forth will be permanently barred from the MAGA camp.
Trump, he's such a bully.
In Haley's home state, we found some Republican voters encouraging her to stick it out. Shauna King voted for Trump twice, but is now backing Haley.
She's not name-calling, she's not rude, she's to the point, she's honest, she's a fighter.
Do you just want her to stay in this until the last possible minute?
I do, because Trump is going to try and force her out. He's going to try and intimidate, make her look bad. Stay in it, you know.
But others, like Lauren Poe, are undecided.
I like Trump. I think he can fix all our problems, but I don't want the chaos of the Trump-Biden thing, so I do like Nikki, but I really don't know which way I'm going to go.
And as for Donald Trump, in that blending of the campaign trail and the courtroom, he says he will appear in New York today for that E. Jean Carroll defamation case. Tomorrow, he's heading back on the campaign trail for an event in Arizona. Caitlin Huey-Burns, CBS News, Charleston, South Carolina.
2 weeks after Governor Glenn Youngkin gave his State of the Commonwealth address, we're now getting a more detailed look at Virginia through the State of the Commonwealth report. Among the key findings, 43% of Virginians think the state is headed in the right direction, as opposed to 37% who do not. But only 20%, according to this report, think the country is headed in the right direction, compared to 71% who do not. 50% of Virginians in this report approve of the job Governor Glenn Youngkin is doing, compared to 36% approval for President Biden. The report also sheds light on what Virginians say the top concerns are for Governor Glenn Youngkin in the General Assembly, including improving education, reducing crime, and reducing health care costs. Oh, right now, the Norfolk Sheriff's Office is hosting a book drive to refresh the books available to incarcerated people inside the jail. New and gently used books will be added to the jail library for those incarcerated there to check out and read. You can drop off paperback books at City Hall on Union Street and the NSO Administration Building on East Street. The drive goes through February 16th. News 3 anchor Aaron Miller talked to Sheriff Joseph Barron about the impact.
Here at the Norfolk Sheriff's Office, we're working very hard about trying to make a difference in the lives of others. That includes the inmates in our custody. And why is that important? It's important because 96% of the inmates that are in my jail are coming back to our community. How they come back sometimes is dependent on the programs we offer, the resources that we offer. Books are just another resource that we can do.
We have a new warning to tell you about this afternoon. If you're a Cox customer, what the technology company needs you to know if you use its Affordable Connectivity program. Early last year, many analysts were predicting a recession, but that never happened, and new data shows the economy has remained resilient. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger gives us a look.
A new report shows the U.S. economy expanded more than expected in the fourth quarter of 2023. Gross domestic product, or GDP, increased at an annualized pace of 3.3%, down from the third quarter, but better than the first half of the year. Of course, the health of the economy is determined by more than just one number. Mortgage rates are slowly dropping from last year's highs, but are still well above pre-pandemic levels.
I got into a condo in 2018, so I'm locked in at a 2.87 rate.
The inflation rate has receded from 2022 highs. Prices at grocery stores and gas stations are down, but eating out and rents continue to climb at a strong pace. And even though employment has remained solid, we've recently seen a number of tech and media companies announce layoffs. Many Americans have mixed responses to the mixed results.
Even if you make a decent income, it's very difficult.
I think the economy is doing well. For me personally, yeah, it's going well. I would say mediocre at best.
Right now, the Federal Reserve is rooting for mediocre, so spending slows and inflation falls further. Until then, the central bank is unlikely to take any action on rates when they meet at the end of the month. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Now at 4, Cox Internet is warning some customers of a possible rate increase. Right now, many customers get a discount on their bill from the Affordable Connectivity program, helping people in need get access to internet for schooling, jobs, and essential services. But funding for the ACP benefit is about to run out. Cox warns if more funding from Congress isn't approved by the end of April, those customers will see their internet rates go up starting in May. Right now, fewer children appear to be ingesting those pods filled with laundry detergent, according to a recent study. But research shows it is still a significant problem in the U.S. Mandy Gaither has more on what parents and caretakers should know to keep their little ones safe.
It's not a new danger. For years, there have been warnings about the risk of exposure or ingestion of the liquid inside laundry detergent pods, and new research shows they still pose a problem.
What we found was that despite all of these public health and industry efforts, we're still seeing many people of all ages being exposed to these laundry detergent packets.
Dr. Christopher Gaw with Nationwide Children's is senior author of a study that researched detergent pod-related calls into U.S. poison control centers between January 2014 and December 2022. While researchers say there have been declines in the number, rate, and severity of exposures among children younger than 6, the most recent 3 years of the study found more than 36,000 calls related to these exposures.
Usually ends up in their mouths, and oftentimes if they bite down on it or it dissolves, that's how the detergent gets released.
Researchers also found increases in exposures among older children, noting dangerous social media challenges, and among older adults with cognitive impairments like Alzheimer's, who may have mistaken the pods for food. To keep those who are most vulnerable safe from accidental exposure or ingestion, Gaw says to store detergents out of reach of little hands and in their original containers.
I think also there's opportunity from an industry and policy perspective to really strengthen and shore up these product safety standards.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
This afternoon, you may want to double check your medicine cabinet. Certain Robitussin cough syrups are being recalled because they may be contaminated with bacteria. The issue could lead to deadly infections for people with compromised immune systems. The recall includes Robitussin Honey CF Max Day Adult and Robitussin Honey CF Max Nighttime Adult. If you have these products, you are urged to throw them away and contact a doctor if you experience any health problems. Now this, Ford is preparing to send out recall letters to nearly 2 million drivers. The company is recalling certain Ford Explorers over a windshield issue. Documents say that clips holding trim down around the front windshield can become loose, and that can be dangerous. Affected owners will receive a letter in the mail in March. Dealers will inspect and fix the problem for free. Learning how to save energy one generation at a time. Coming up, how local Virginia Beach students are putting their energy-saving knowledge to the test.
News 3's first warning weather.
We have a lot of cloud cover and some scattered rain showers that are beginning to really move through for us now. We've had a little bit of mist and drizzle throughout the day, but really seeing that scattered activity that's moving in as we have this very unsettled stretch. Look at all of that rain on the radar, and we've got a lot of that is going to be headed our way over the span of the next few days. So right now we do have a lot of that scattered activity that is really making its way through. Hopefully you have an umbrella on hand. If not, and you have some plans later this evening, make sure that you do grab an umbrella before you head out the door. We'll continue to see these scattered rain showers for the rest of this evening into the earlier parts of tonight. As we get into later tonight, after midnight, then we should be catching a bit of a dry break. Heading into the day on Friday, we'll have another chance to see some more of those scattered rain showers that are going to be passing through for us. Still pretty warm out there for the day on Friday, but as we get into the weekend, we'll see those temperatures dropping and then really dropping back into those winter temperatures as we head into next week. So exactly how cool we're going to be getting for next week, I'll have those details coming up, as well as how long we can expect this rain to be persisting for us and when we can expect to see a little bit more sunshine outside in my full forecast.
With an unseasonably warm day, you bet kids at Red Mill Elementary School are outside burning some energy. But inside the classroom, they're learning how to save energy.
What makes them zero energy?
Fifth graders across Virginia Beach are analyzing real-world data, looking at how much energy their school uses. I chose to visit Red Mill because the coordinator for the citywide program said the staff here took the project a bit further, incorporating math lessons.
Ocean Lakes use 17,000 kilowatts.
Once the students come up with and research ideas on how their school can conserve energy, it's straight to the principal's office to share those recommendations.
The data I focused on is the data that shows average temperature presented in bar graph.
So far this year, the big one is solar panels, which the principal said they are hoping to get soon.
Instead of being on their Chromebook.
Fifth grader Waylon Bookout showed me why this could be such a good idea.
Because in the Ocean Lakes, they use like zero because the solar panels save so much energy from them having to pay for it. So they have zero every time, so I just think it'd be a lot. It would at least bring us down like a good amount.
Other student suggestions include adding wind turbines and geothermal wells. And staff hopes the kids will bring some of their ideas, even the small ones, like using window shades, into their own home to help make a difference.
Come on, you guys.
And there you heard it, some advice from fifth graders. But if you do want to learn more about saving energy and money, Dominion Energy has you covered. In fact, they have a free kit with energy-saving products inside of it. And we have all the details inside this story at WTKR.com. In Virginia Beach, Angela Bohan, News 3.
Some students at a Norfolk elementary school got some really cool new additions that will help them learn, too. The National Energy Education Development Program, also known as NEED Project, teamed up with Ocean View Elementary School for the unveiling of a new wind turbine at the school. The school also received solar panels. One teacher at the school spoke about how this new technology will help students learn.
It just further instills that belief in our kiddos that where we are located and where they live is an integral part of changing the world and making good choices and decisions for everyone on this planet.
The program also includes a hands-on curriculum from the NEED Project that allows students to learn about wind in the classroom. Additionally, Ocean View Elementary School teachers will also receive training on the curriculum and the use of the wind turbine data.
Storage battery.
Our team is committed to covering environmental stories that impact you and your community. You can find all of our reporting, including News 3 anchor Pari Cruz's coverage on everything from resilience lab projects to why not raking your leaves could actually help your yard. That's up right now on the environmental page of WTKR.com. The weekend is almost here, and if you're looking for something fun to do, our Jen Lewis is here with 3 things to do next. Artificial intelligence is changing the way a lot of us do our jobs, including journalists. Coming up, how AI is impacting the news you get every day.
For more stories from Virginia Beach, check out WTKR.com/Virginia Beach.